Welcome to the Talk Sip. I'm your host, Alisa Bowens-Mercado, and each week I trade in my dance shoes and I spend time with you, the listeners. We talk arts, culture, music, community, and much more. Today, I'm so excited to be joined with Trey and Cormac from Elm Village here in New Haven. Hi, gentlemen.
Hey.
I'm really looking forward to finding out all about how Elm Village came about and the wonderful things that you've done in the community, and about this event on May 2nd that I'm hearing.
May 3rd.
May 3rd. I'm sorry, May 3rd. May 3rd. So we're going to jump into that. But folks, don't forget, we are tuning in live from the New Haven Independent office, 103.5 FM. You can find us on Facebook. And that'd be great if Harry could just put, just hold it up. You're listening to the Talk Sip on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and the New Haven Independent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook Live, and that's if I can get my Facebook Live over to my page, and you guys can check us out. Don't forget, this is a live show, so we want folks from the community or from the surrounding areas to call us if you have any questions. 203-872-7356. I always want to give out my cell phone number. That's not happening. It'll be blowing up all day. So again, 203-872-7356. Folks, it is 5 o'clock somewhere. Sit back, relax as we serve you up a tasty mix of talk radio. You are listening to the Talk Sip. All right. We got all of that stuff,
Beautiful.
going.
My mic is on. Right? I can hear you. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
I should hear myself, right?
Yeah, so now I hear you better. Oh, you know what the key is? You got to really just kind of pretend like you are getting ready to go on American Idol and just get all up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, belt
All
it
right,
out, okay? So you could.
I can hear your musicality right there, too.
So can I, can't you?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so it's coming through these headphones.
All right.
Yes. Okay, so you picked up the wrong. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
But that's good to see as artists, and I'm sure, and I could already tell from reading, you have that kind of reserved kind of. To me, I get it, and then it's just like when you're in your element, it's kind of like the lights, camera, action. So, guys, please, and welcome to the show. But let our listeners and our viewers on Facebook Live know how all of this came together. You can give us. Starting with your background.
Sure, yeah. So the way Elm Village got started, I'm the executive director and founder. So I had been living at a Zen monastery for a year. And
very nice.
I came back, and I just loved the practice of just being able to sit still.
Right, sit still.
Yeah. And, but it just felt so removed from everything. And the monastery I was at, it was mainly people from really privileged backgrounds, mainly white people. And and I've been running a meditation community here before I went to the monastery for years. And, it just felt not inclusive.
Yes.
And so when I came back from the monastery, before I went to the monastery, I gave away everything I owned. And I came back and I was living in a community center and just trying to get stuff started.
You just said, you know what? I'm just going to release so that I can eventually really magnify and take much more in and give much, of more of yourself out.
Yeah. And that's what's happening. It started with me in the library making our website. And now, we've got 20 plus people on staff. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So now the monastery, where was this monastery?
It was in California, a place called Tassajara.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so did you say 1 year?
10 months.
10 months.
I say a year because
right.
it makes me seem cooler.
When you're zenning, does the time slow down or does the time get faster?
It's interesting. It's a little bit of both because, when you're meditating for 8 hours a day, time seems to go for frickin' ever.
Right, right.
But also, the thing about the monastery is it's the same damn thing every day.
Okay.
So you kind of did this thing that happened like 3 weeks ago or yesterday? So
Right,
time does
right.
get a little funny. Yeah.
That's incredible because you see it depicted in pictures, and you're always like, okay, monastery people just praying or meditating or what they're getting into their inner selves, and you always wonder like what, you know, their time, like how long are they there for? And so during meditating, did you come up with this whole, Elm Village at the monastery, or was it? How did you segue? How did you, when you left the monastery, like, did they kick you? They don't kick you out. Were they like, your 10-month membership is like over and now you gotta like either re-up and then, Yeah,
kind of got to re-up. They're like 3-month periods, and the time I was there was the end of a particular period.
Okay.
But I'd always planned to only go there for a little while. I used to be a hospital chaplain at Griffin Hospital in Derby, and so I ran these groups for people who were struggling with mental health issues and addiction, and it was really the favorite thing that I did. People who really are on the edge. People who are having a real
struggling.
Yeah, and if they can't find a way to make their life right, they're gonna die.
Yes.
And
no, you're absolutely right.
And I found that teaching meditation, and obviously it's not for everybody, but for the people it was for, they were had so much more earnestness and integrity about it than anyone I'd ever taught before. And so when I was leaving the monastery, I was really thinking about those courses as the most life-fulfilling thing I did, and wanted to do more of it. And then everything just kind of happened organically. I just kind of, I knew a lot of people in New Haven, and just
came back
and just said, this is what I'm doing. And I got my first real contract with Emerge CT, and
very nice.
I showed up in a friend's suit, and I didn't. When they wrote me the check, I didn't even have a bank account to cash it in.
You're like, I'll just put this in my pocket for a couple of days,
exactly right,
until I can either go down the street and or just wait to. That's amazing.
But some people really like the folks at Emerge, who I love very much. I want to send a
shout out to
Alden and Dan there. And so just to jump ahead a little bit, a big part of what we do is get people in the communities we work with to become teachers and facilitators. So we've actually got 3 people from Emerge, formerly incarcerated people, who are now running classes for us.
That's amazing.
So I also want to send a shout out to Roger and Joanna and Dave.
Oh, of course. Oh no, we are a shout out talk show, and I'm gonna.
You have to be.
we shout out people because you know what, this is a community, and it's a small community, and the more you can help folks, and it's always just that marketing and the network, but it really, I think, is the love of being in this town. And once you connect with a person, like you said, you came back open arms. It's probably like you had never left. So you called people, you had connections, and there you go.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So Elm Village location. Let's go start with location. Then we're gonna bring you in shortly to see how you became involved in the process.
Sure. Yeah. Location. We all the stuff we do at the places we work. So we go into the schools. We go into. But our offices are in Hamden. They're in my bottom floor. We got to, we're a nonprofit. We got to keep overhead low. So
that's right.
Yeah.
We're low down in the first floor. Yes, you gotta. Yes, that's right. Those offices help out.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And what have you seen, like some of your projects that you've gone? You said you just go into the schools. Tell us about that and those experiences.
Sure. So. Another person who really took really believed in us was Maureen Bransfield, who's the principal at New Horizons, which is an alternative school for people who usually it's because they got kicked out of another school. And we're there 30 hours a week, and we teach mindfulness in all sorts of ways.
What's a class like? Like bring me into a classroom or what goes on.
Well, let me pass that off to Trey.
Trey, welcome to the Talk Sip.
Yeah.
How are you, my friend? And before you go into telling us how those classrooms work, just give us a bit of background about yourself.
Cool. My name's Trey. I'm from New Haven. Grew up here. Went to New Haven schools.
You want to shout out any school?
Shout out Carrera High School.
All right.
Also shout out to Bessie Ross Arts Magnet School.
Mm-hmm. 2 great schools.
Great schools
in the city.
Kind of made me who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Also shout out to Co-op because I went there for my freshman year. But,
okay. But hey, you were in school.
Yeah. I'm an artist. Most people know me for being an artist, musician, singer, songwriter.
Do you specialize in any one art, or just singer songwriter? You just put all your art like either on paper
I
and.
mean, I'm a composer. I play a bunch of instruments and I write songs and I record the songs and put them out.
Awesome.
Yeah, I perform. So that's how most people know me when outside of my work with Elm Village.
Okay.
That's really kind of how I got introduced to Elm Village. How me and Cormac kind of crossed paths.
Tell us the story because this is how you know that things are just divine and they're meant to be. So we would love to hear the story.
Yeah. So I was actually I was in the Westville area at an event that Travis Carbonella was doing.
We love Travis.
Yeah,
yeah. Permission to Fail.
Yeah, he's great. My big shout out. Yes.
Permission to Fail. That one was Permission Fades because it was the last installment of that. I was just there to support. I ended up doing something there. I had a bass guitar in my car, and Travis like, let's do something. So I did something real quick.
Awesome.
Cormac was there. We met afterwards, and he was telling me about the work he was doing with Elm Village, and that it would be cool, to bring me on to do some things. Right. I really didn't know what Elm Village was or what they were doing at the time.
But you were like, this is a cool concept.
Yeah, I thought the fact that they were working in schools, working with kids who are from where I'm from, that's always an opportunity that I'm open to.
Did you feel like you could give back? Go back, give back, and participate in your communities.
I feel like there's a need. There's definitely a need for young, specifically people of color, since that's the majority of young kids. That's what makes up New Haven.
Right.
They needed people around them who look like them.
Yes.
Could relate to them in some way.
Mentor. Yes.
I don't have a background in mindfulness or meditation. As in the same way that Cormac does, my meditation is music. Is my art form. That's how I deal with my trauma.
Meditation to me is like my dancing, my salsa.
Yeah.
So totally understand.
And partially because meditation, the mindfulness practices, like you mentioned, is you kind of have to be kind of privileged to be able to do that or grow up doing something like that. Going to a class, finding instructors, being able to pay for. To be in these spaces. So oftentimes, we don't have that. You
those resources.
Yeah, those resources. You find something else. And that's what I did. And I knew that there were kids in the community who might be able to utilize what Elm Village had to offer.
Right.
But also needed people around them who look like them.
Exactly.
And can help them in the right way.
And that's so true. If we could just hit on that for 1 second.
Yeah.
We always say that because I had a conversation this week about being in different careers or being in different situations where it's okay to tell someone that a person that is maybe of color, who's a different gender, is breaking into different, crossroads, because it could tell someone that's looking, going, oh my gosh, I thought I had to be a white male to do wellness, to do, so I think
that's the imagery, right?
Yes.
That's what we see. And
and I think, isn't it important to have people that you could see and go, he's doing that, she's doing that. I had no idea that I could do this.
Well, I think there's also a sense in which, and we work in a lot of places, but I think because the place Trey works is the high school, it's a good place to focus on.
Right.
A lot of these students really have been traumatized by white people in power.
Yes.
And so for me to, for instance, who's white, to be in front of them as a person of authority, telling them about spiritual practices and how to live, it's something that can happen, but there's just, it touches this, it touches this trauma. It brings historical baggage with it,
right?
For these kids in particular.
And that's honest.
Right, and Cormac was
that's
very
honest.
He was very honest about that when I met him. Basically saying, look, they don't need a white guy coming in telling them how to do something, trying to teach them or instruct them on how to be a certain way. And that I would probably be a better suited person to like run a particular type of class, which in my instance, like I do. If we can like segue into like the type of class.
Of course. No, of course. Because we want to know what goes on in these classes.
Yeah. So I take my art form, and we attach everything to mindfulness, since that's the foundation, right? Ultimately. I don't have a formal training in like doing movement or yoga, anything like that. So
but you know what moves your spirit
right
through your music.
So so I do mindfulness in music production, where we kind of use music, we use sound, and as a means to address trauma. Yeah, that kind of comes out. I'm not too direct in saying, okay, write your trauma down, or like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
God, yeah.
Let's be like, here you go.
Yeah.
Let's dive into it now.
Exactly. So, but through my experience with using art as a means to kind of like.
Well, you're sharing, what you're doing is you're sharing your art, you're sharing your story with these folks in these classes that probably look like you.
Right.
And and you probably have some things that you've gone through that they're going through. But then what you've done is you are letting people know how to, deal with or maybe attach themselves in a positive way to art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's an outlet, and everyone, all of the students there aren't necessarily interested in movement.
Right.
They're not necessarily interested in yoga.
Right.
Sometimes some want to like write. Some of them want to just talk about it. So we have like real talk sessions. We have like writing, mindfulness in writing, mindfulness in music production. Mindfulness is the foundation to everything, but we offer different means.
You
to
build
be able
from that.
Right.
Yeah, I think the idea that mindfulness is meditation is really limiting. And I think it's also, it comes with the presumption that the people we're working with don't already have awesome resources.
Yeah. Right.
And they do. It's really, I think it's much more about helping people use the resources they already have.
Right. Yeah. And maybe bringing and showing them how to use them. Because some people just say, I have the resources, now how am I going to put this together?
Well, and oftentimes it's not even about us showing them. So, I run a real talk class, and, that's something where we do mindfulness communication. It does have a little meditation at the beginning and the end, but it's really about paying attention to how we speak and
to one another or to
and
each other.
How we hear.
Right.
And I feel like, the students learn stuff from me for sure, but the students also learn a lot from each other.
Yes.
So like, they share.
Do you see bonding going on all the time? I can imagine that's so rewarding.
I see it a lot.
Yeah.
I run my class in a similar way where I'm not super technical. As far I do bring my equipment, like the same equipment I use to produce music.
Right.
I bring it in 4 days a week, and I let them hear things and I let them play around with things. But I'm not like, here's how you learn, here's how you use Pro Tools this way, and how you. I'm not super technical, but that's not what the class is about. It's more so like, here's a space where you can like
explore.
Right. And bond, and oftentimes they'll go off and they'll form their own groups and they'll do their own thing, and I'll sit to the side.
That's amazing.
Or I'll join them as like someone who's just more so like grateful that you're allowing me into this space.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna ask. I mean, and remember, let me just say this. I mean, do you take folks on that want to be mentors? Or like, I would love to be the energy I'm feeling is just like incredible. Yeah. Like I would love to be involved in something, like this. I think it's so rewarding.
And salsa dancing.
Come on,
like
you can't beat that. Let's get people up moving. Let's get the endorphins, rising. Let's, I would love that.
We actually did have there was a woman. Oh, I wish I could remember her name. She was, she came through the Yale dance program.
Okay.
And was was choreographing a dance here, and she ran for a marking period, mindfulness in African dance, and it was
That's
really
amazing.
amazing. Yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah, it's getting the kids up and like you said, and getting them involved. And we never know, because I travel and do the salsa program throughout the state of Connecticut, and I have teachers that say there are some kids in here. They go, they're probably not gonna, participate, and then on the contrary, because they go in there and something sparks some kind of interest in their soul or their feet, and they see something and they're feeling something, and that is so rewarding. Sometimes they go, thank you so much for being here, and I go, no, thank you.
Yeah.
You have no idea what some interactions that I just experienced, that's gonna stay with me for the rest of my life.
And I think that's really the key to doing this work well. I mean, I think probably not consciously, but on some level, when I began doing this work, there was a part of me was like, I'm going to be this great guy, and I'm going to come in and help all these people.
Right.
And all the people I worked with, but especially at the school, they were like, no, that's not how this works.
Right.
And
that's so true.
I really learned a lot about myself, and a lot about my ego, and a lot about my relationship with race, and a lot about my relationship with class, in kind of really powerful ways. And that's one of the things that,
and I can tell.
Yeah. And really developing actual relationships, with people, and where I feel like I have it's just been such a gift to work with all the people that I've gotten to work with.
Yeah, you get something out of that. Yes.
I would say, I mean, I kind of, my experience is oftentimes teachers would come up to me and say, well, kids aren't really like this in my class. So engaged. And it's like, they're surprised that kids are responding to something, that's helping them.
Yeah.
That they want to do.
Yes.
A lot of it has, as Cormac was talking about, is a lot of learning and unlearning, understanding the populations that you're working with.
Yes.
That everyone isn't the same. Everyone isn't influenced by the same things. Everyone's trauma doesn't stem from the same place.
Tailor what your experience with your students, and actually care about what you're diving into. Yeah. And don't just get up there and push a button and you're back and then you're on autopilot.
Well, we definitely, we're really fortunate in the position that we're in, because the teachers there, we don't have a curriculum that if we don't teach them math, then they're gonna not graduate high school.
Right.
And I think that there's something that we could talk about forever about the whole system, that specifically, but with all the populations we work with, but we're focusing on this, but in this particular population, that's really designed for them to fail, and that's happening on so many different levels. And so there's also just something about us coming in on the outside. It's kind of like we're the cool uncle. We get to be the cool uncle.
Be like, they're here.
And I definitely, I really, no one is working in the school if they don't believe in it and love it.
Absolutely. And shout out to the teachers out there. Shout out. Yeah.
But it's an impossible task, it seems like, for a lot of the teachers, the compassion fatigue, and that's something we think about, is really how do we and how do we care not just for the populations we're working with, but for the staff too.
Right.
And honestly, in schools, one of the biggest things that we think about is how can we lift some of the weight off of the teachers.
Right. By lightening it, just by with what you're offering.
Well, also just in practical ways, we now offer mindful detention there, so that the teacher who is offering mindful detention can actually have some time to grade their papers in school instead of having to do it at home.
Right. Exactly. So you're bringing you have the foundation, and now you are bringing up you're adding and adding and adding. That's great. We're going to take a short break. Guys, if you don't mind, I want you to stick around for our second segment. Yeah, sure. I really would love to, because we've still got to find out about this event that's going on. and all your social media, where you are, where we can find you, and what's in the future for Elm Village. All right, folks, don't touch that dial. We will be right back. Don't forget the phone lines are open, 203-684-3497 or 203-684-8907. You're listening to the Talk Sip. And welcome back to the Talk Sip. I'm your host, Alisa Bowens-Mercado. I am joined today by these two wonderful gentlemen from Elm Village. I have Trey Moore and Cormac Levinson. Absolutely. Guys, this is what community, and this is what you want to see in our communities. These are the things that some people, I don't even think, know that this is going on.
That's what we're trying to fix.
Yeah, and we want to. So I'm happy you're here, because, like I said, I want to get involved. Mm-hmm. So tell folks, and I know you have an event coming up, but tell folks, how can they find you? Can they take a program that you have and implement it in their schools? Can you go nationwide? Like, how are you getting Elm Village out?
Well, Yeah, I mean, we're definitely doing programs. We do some stuff kind of for profit to we run retreats and stuff like that to generate some income.
Of course.
But also, yeah, if you work at a school or work with homeless folks or battered women's shelter, mental health, substance abuse programs, the recently incarcerated, that's been our wheelhouse for the past 2 years. And we've had a lot of success there. So if you work in that field and want to work with us, check us out at elmvillage.org.
That's amazing. Do you actually have people that reach out to you that might be in, the throes of like substance abuse? Are you an organization that can, how people have like interventions? I mean, would you facilitate, and do you facilitate just, groups of that, or is that kind of the after?
Yeah, I mean, we really see ourselves as kind of an auxiliary service to other, like an addiction service program would run that, and then we would work with that addiction service. Because I think mindfulness is great, but I also don't think it's a cure-all. Like, I think people who,
you need some clarity first, then to maybe work through some.
I mean, we do work with people in the very early stages of addiction, for instance. But we really see that as being part of a team that includes, a medical team, social workers.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So now tell us this event. You have an event going on in May. How did you come up with the event? What's the name of the event? And what can we expect?
So the name of the event is Mindful Soiree.
Oh, I love that. Mindful Soiree.
Yeah.
I'm always down for a soiree.
Cormac helped a lot with the title. It's happening May 3rd at the African American Cultural Center at Yale, aka the AFM House. Yeah, what you can expect there is a lot of entertainment, food that'll be provided by Sandra's Next Generation and Rawa.
Right, in Westville.
Mediterranean restaurant. You can expect also it'll be educational just as much as it is fun.
Right.
It's really just a party.
Okay, it's a party, but with mindfulness, with getting people, out. So can you name some of the entertainment? You're gonna have music, or you're gonna have mini booths where people can come and maybe meditate for 10 minutes.
So we'll have a more refined lineup of order of events coming out soon.
Okay.
But we will have performances by Paul Brian Hudson, who's a New Haven native singer-songwriter, musician. Super awesome. Very talented. Also,
nice.
Olive Tiger. Who's also super talented. Has a really, really awesome band. So those are two of the more notable things we have.
But you've got local.
Yes.
Wonderful talent.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, New Haven, we don't have to
You don't have to go far. No, you really don't.
Yeah.
We could both, the three of us could walk out the door right now, walk to the left or walk to the right, and we're gonna bump into somebody that's in the arts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm blessed enough to be down in Westville now. The House of Salsa, it's right there. So I mean, I've got a lot of studios. I've got DJ Julie. We've got Strange Ways. I'm surrounded by artists and great folks, and so this is I've got people that are storytellers, and so you let me know if you ever need some musicians. You just call me. I've got a little Rolodex myself.
Beautiful. Well, and the president of our board teaches yoga at the House of Salsa.
Yeah,
Tama Graves.
We love Tama.
Us too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tama.
Shout out to Tama. And let me tell you something, and I'm just going to tell folks, if you have not tried out her trap yoga at the House of Salsa on Mondays at 5:30, you have no idea what you're missing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So, yeah, I mean, just getting, that's amazing.
Yeah, the whole idea for this fundraiser event was not to take the conventional fundraising approach, right?
Right.
So the fundraisers, a lot of nonprofits are familiar with the format that a lot of people are familiar with. You go in, wine and cheese, tuxedoed up, and it's really it's kind of like I don't know, maybe some people are comfortable in that type of environment. I'm not so much. I don't think it's very reflective of the community that we're really a part of and the work that we do.
Right.
So it's a very inclusive space. Tickets are
ticket costs. Because don't forget, this is a fundraiser. When people have fundraisers, it is to build what the greatness that you're already.
Well, it's twofold. I mean, we definitely we want to make money because we want to keep doing what we're doing.
But it's not driven.
It's not. It's
driven by that.
It's driven more about wanting people to know who we are.
Who you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Me being from New Haven, it was a personal goal for mine to make sure that the room reflects New Haven and that our integrity is intact.
Absolutely.
Even though we're doing a fundraiser. That being said, we also do want to sell tickets, right? Tickets are we offer a variety of ticket options.
Okay, so let us know. Is there an age? Is it ages? Okay, so tell us, what are is it families? Kids under 12. So what's your ticket cost for the event?
Yeah, the ticket cost is $30 basically, but we also have sponsor tickets. So people want to buy a ticket for the people who we work with, or just anybody who can't afford it can pay $60 for a ticket to support somebody else.
That's awesome.
We also offer sliding scale tickets for individuals who might not be able to afford either ticket, but still want to come because we want everyone in the room.
You will work with folks that yes.
Yeah. So if you want to come, if you want to just support, there's a ticket for you. We want everyone there. We want everyone in the room. Also,
we're not going to run out of space.
Yeah.
Okay.
We plenty of space.
Right.
It's going to be a beautiful setting, beautiful environment, great music, great entertainment,
food. You're going to have
great food, amazing food.
You named 2 restaurants that are amazing. So
yeah, both based in New Haven.
Yeah.
And also, if you can't make it, but you still would like to support us, you can always just buy a ticket.
There you go. Go on your website.
Yeah, it's on our website.
And you donate. So you have the link.
Oh yeah, if you just go to elmvillage.org, it'll have our annual fundraiser tab right at the top. Click on that.
That's so now, what year are you on?
Depends on how you count it. If you count the moment that I sat down at a computer at the public library and made us a website, we're about 2 years old. If you count it from when we were officially a 501c3, we're about a year and a half old.
Wow. And you've done a lot in that year and a half.
It's been really staggering how quickly we've grown.
That's great. But we want you to continue to grow.
Yeah.
We want you to continue to grow. All right. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come right back. And then, again, the phone lines are open 203-684-3497 or 203-684-8907. I'm joined by Cormac and Trey, and we will be right back. And welcome back to the Talk Sip. I'm your host, Alisa Bowens-Mercado. Don't forget you are listening to the Talk Sip on WNHHLP 103.5 FM. We're broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook Live, so check us out. Go to facebooklive.com/New Haven Independent, or just go to your Facebook page and you can look us up. So we're not hard to find. So your event on May 3rd, it's a Thursday. Can you give us the time so folks will be able to, maybe leave work and then have enough time to kind of get it together and be ready for the party?
So it's May 3rd, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the African American Cultural Center at Yale, aka the AFM House, 211 Park Street.
Okay.
Downtown New Haven, for those who might not live in the area. Really easy to find. Yeah.
Okay, so right down
and
in the area.
If you're not already jazzed about the event, definitely Google Paul Bryant Hudson and Olive Tiger, both those musicians, and watch a couple of their videos.
Yeah, they're on my circuit.
Yeah, they're really good. Paul's a personal friend of mine.
Okay.
I grew up watching him and playing along with him. He's really, really talented.
That's awesome. So. Local talent, like we said, local talent. Why go anyplace else when you get local right here?
Yeah.
And Olive is from Seymour.
So, okay. Yeah. Got to bring the little valley. Wait, is Seymour considered the valley anymore? Okay.
Yeah.
They're considered the valley. Got it. Oh, I
didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know about the valley?
No.
Yeah, there's a valley.
It's its whole thing.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting out in the valley. And that's a whole,
When I was a hospital chaplain, I worked at Griffin Hospital in Derby.
In Derby. Yeah. So you were really in the valley.
I was right in the heart of the
valley.
So like Derby, like Ansonia's at the valley.
Yeah, that was the valley.
Yeah, 'cause it's in the valley. I get it now.
We'll have to do a field trip one day. Yeah. There's some interesting stuff it's building, actually. So, no, tell us, for Elm Village, where you want to see this and where you want yourself to go, both of you, and where you want Elm Village to go and to be your vision for the next couple of years.
Well, it's hard to say because I feel like we're already doing way more than I thought. Some of the like long-term goals I had, we're already seeing. Like we've got 2 high school students who we trained at New Horizons who are now co-facilitating classes at Truman Middle. And
shout out to those.
Oh yeah, shout out to Alexis and Victor. They're both really great, really bright, and amazing leaders. And
keep up the good work.
Keep up the good work. I'm really excited to see the people who they are and the people that they're becoming. Yeah. But really just more of that. I really, my hope is to make myself pretty obsolete. I used to be, I was the only facilitator. Right now I'm not doing any facilitation actually. I miss it, but that I think that really my personal calling is to is to help people who want to lead.
That's amazing. That and we need leaders, strong leaders, more than ever. With these days, and to carry on to the generation. So, and if that's a way that that's a contribution, then my gosh, you are right on target. So that's a beautiful thing. And Trey, what do you think? Where's your vision? Where are you seeing yourself, and where are you seeing Elm Village?
Wow. It's one of those questions I can like rant about. I'll try to like keep it short.
We've got a few minutes. Harry didn't start yet putting up like the 5 fingers yet.
Yeah. I think everyone who's a part of Elm Village has their own individual kind of goals based on their experience with the kids that we're working with,
right?
And also their life experiences.
Right.
I have a different background in Carmack and Carmack to someone else, and so on and so forth. But I think that's what makes it beautiful and unique. Me personally, I'm grateful for the relationships I've been able to form with the students. I'm very much concerned with their well-being, right?
Right.
There's this misconception that these kids are at risk, right? And that's a term that we don't really use when we're in Elm Village and when we're in our language, because they're not any more at risk than any other kid in another city.
Absolutely.
They're under-resourced, and a lot of them have gone through a system that's failed them and that oppresses them. And
that's a dynamic point.
Right. And
not at risk, but under-resourced.
Right.
Yep.
And that's kind of the root cause of their trauma. a personal goal of mine is to. I know it could be a big task to try to dismantle this system that's so big and it's been around for so long. But I can help relieve pressure, right? And I can help.
Good for you.
Get some of the kids out in ways that I'm not completely out, right? But,
right.
And you know,
you're helping.
I can help.
Right.
I can help. I don't want to see them go through the same systems and cycles that a lot of us have gone through, specifically in the New Haven population.
Right.
On a personal level as well, as an artist and as a person who's gone through a trauma myself, you know, just had a cousin who was killed, murdered.
Wow.
And that's
unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but it's all too familiar, right?
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about the amount of how many families and around the world
are affected.
Are affected, but even just in New Haven are going through trauma like that. So
and these young African American males who are being gunned down and shot down in record. I mean,
disproportionately.
Absolutely.
So I just want to spread light. I want to show compassion, be love, and everything that I do. Even I think I've always felt that way, but you know, since that's happened and that just happened last month, and my family, we've been dealing with it. It's like my eyes have opened up even more to the needs of people going through this thing.
See, you were already inside helping, but now I think you see because it hit so close to home for you.
Right.
I think it now just kind of opened up, like you said, your vision that there's not even an urgency. I don't know if that's the right word, but there's some type of what you're doing. You're right on the right track, and it's like, let's keep at this so that even if you can get to 1 or 2, which I know for a fact that you guys are touching and helping and mentoring and being, I mean, amazing, just positive forces, and lots more folks than that. But it's an amazing start. It's an amazing start. So when you have stories like that, you're able to now just kind of even tap more into where you are, and I think maybe your art will come out even more.
Right, and that's really all I care about. Like, in like the most, I don't know, maybe non-caring, and maybe I should care. I was telling you, maybe I should care about other things more than I do at this point. You know, we live in a society where, you know, money is important and things like that. But it's like, unfortunately, right, because we're kind of forced to. But I mean, that's really not important. You know, when I'm working with kids, I'm barely an adult myself, right? I just turned 24, so.
There you go. See, you're a baby. That's good.
yeah. So like, I'm still considered a baby, but I see.
But you have knowledge.
I see myself in a lot of the kids I work with, which is kind of cliche to say, but I truly do. Like, I coach the basketball team now at New Horizons.
Good for you.
They've been playing really well, by the way.
Shout out
to the basketball
team at New Horizons.
Right.
All right.
They're made up of kids between New Horizons and New Light. They're the #1 seed right now. Playoffs start next week. If you want to come support, April 27th, Cross Gym.
Who are they playing and what time?
We play. It depends on who wins the games before us, because it's the playoff season. And,
okay.
I believe the game is at 4. Just to be safe, come at 4. But yeah. So, but even when I'm dropping them off home and things like that, it's like, man, this is what I was doing just a couple years ago, getting dropped off home, and you know, same neighborhoods I used to run around playing ball in. So,
that's incredible.
Yeah. I guess there's you want to call it a sense of urgency, but yeah, there's this like.
I think it's compassion.
I really know what they need.
What they need,
because I'm from there.
Yes,
like I know for real. Yeah, that's what's
important. That's incredible. And you know what? And see, and I could tell your passion. I tell the two of you are just passionate about making a difference.
Yeah.
And but the way that you've, like you said, you've brought these opportunities to put folks in front of people that can maybe, you know, just make an incredible, you know, difference is very like very. I see Trey. No, that's great. No, because we'll talk all day, unless Harry kind of
Was that 5 minutes or 5 seconds?
No, he knows me because I'll talk over the 5 seconds, and then then we'll be talking over music. And but no, it's just it really is. This is great. This is powerful, and I know my listeners out there, people that are viewing this they know about Elm Village, and will be following you. I know I certainly will be looking, for you guys. So thank you. Thank you for spending the entire segment with me. I really, really, really appreciate this. It's about community, and boy, are you two making a difference. So very, very, very excited. So folks, my gosh, don't forget their event. May 3rd, 7:00. That the African American Cultural Center. That's Yale. Right, at Yale, right on campus. And go out on their please go to their website, and let's give us their website one more time.
Elmvillage.org.
Elmvillage.org. Go buy a ticket if you can't make it. Great organization. Please, please, please support. It's about really reaching the community, helping the community, and essentially making everybody well. And that's what we want. All right, folks. Well, that is my time for today. I will see you next Thursday. This has been real. I hope by next week the weather breaks here in New Haven. Or else I might be going somewhere meditating myself, and preferably on an island.
Sure.
But folks, stay positive, stay focused. Remember, always keep your glass full. Till next time.